In the name of preventing future Southport-style attacks, the government's come up with the stupidest so-called solution imaginable. Forget any attempt to stop importing the kind of monsters that carry out these attacks. No, far more sensible to... checks notes. Restrict the sale of kitchen knives instead. Tech companies such as Amazon will be barred from handing over a knife to anyone other than the person who bought it, enabling the firm to check ID and age for a third time on delivery. Because where else would future kiddie killers potentially source such dangerous weapons? The mind truly boggles. Oh no, wait. From literally every kitchen drawer in the country. Forget limiting mass migration from uncivilized countries. Something that would actually reduce the risk. Something that would actually address the question that they're desperately trying to stop us from asking. Why are these people in our country in the first place? No, let's make it harder for people to order cooking equipment online. I'm sure that'll fix it. What's next? Are they going to propose banning stabbings? The next Axel Rudakabana could literally just swipe a knife from his mum's pantry. Yet they insult our intelligence by claiming this as any kind of forthright response. Something must be done. This is something. So do it! Okay, but how about not rolling out the red carpet for people who are significantly more likely to commit violent crimes after entering our country? Nah, can't do that. And besides, Axel Rudakabana wasn't a migrant. He was born in Britain. According to the media, just an average Welsh choir boy. Oh yes, that well-known British cultural value of... calling for white genocide, but his parents, who were allowed into the country from Rwanda as asylum seekers, were migrants. They failed to report their son to the police after literally catching him preparing to carry out a school attack. And they failed to report him despite knowing he was receiving rice in deliveries. Why not deport them? No, can't do that. Their other ingenious solution is to waffle on about the need to ban extremist online content.
The government is this week contacting technology companies to ask them to remove dangerous material that he accessed.
Content that can be viewed on the dark web anyway. Again, another effort to be seen to be doing something, even though that something will have little effect whatsoever. Another fudge to avoid having to do something that would actually have an impact in reducing these attacks. Stop bringing into the country the very type of people more likely to carry out these attacks. You know, Joe Rogan's known for his MMA fighting being in extremely good shape and doing quite well health-wise at the tender age of 57. Remember, he bounced back from COVID in 2 or 3 days, so you know he takes care of himself. One of the supplements Rogan's mentioned and talked about is GLP-1, which was highlighted when Dr. Andrew Huberman appeared on the Joe Rogan podcast.
A guy down in South America was looking at Gila monsters, those really scary things, and he realized they don't have to eat very often. I wonder if they're hungry all the time or not. Turns out it takes their blood, isolates a peptide, which turns out to be GLP-1, puts it into other animals, and realizes it suppresses appetite. Turns out humans make GLP-1. So when people take a drug that mimics GLP-1, their brain is like, well, I'm not as hungry, and their stomach feels full even though it's empty. And so people lose weight.
You could inject yourself with Ozempic, which is basically a fake and synthetic form of GLP-1, and comes with all the serious side effects. Or you can help your own body produce GLP-1 naturally. Unlike Ozempic, Black Forest Supplement's 5-in-1 natural GLP-1 booster supports weight loss without affecting bone density or causing muscle loss. That's why it's been dubbed the Ozempic killer. It boosts GLP-1 levels and supports weight loss through natural ingredients like green tea extract, cayenne pepper, cinnamon extract, and L-carnitine. Together, these ingredients work synergistically to suppress appetite, increase calorie burning, and promote effective weight management without the nasty side effects of drugs like Ozempic. Black Forest is offering a special launch day promo, 40% off for the next 48 hours, and they told me this is the best price their GLP-1 product is ever gonna be. So please check out GLP-1 via the link down below. They also continue to exploit the attack to push for the censorship of online misinformation.
It is extremely important that people don't spread damaging misinformation online.
Which, as we know, is usually just information that later turns out to be true. This is the same government that said calling Axel a terrorist was online misinformation, despite the fact that he was in possession of an Al-Qaeda training manual and had enough rice in to kill 12,000 people. Totally not a terrorist though, just your average teenage Welsh choir boy. He was referred to the Anti-Terrorist Prevent Programme 3 times due to his obsession with violence. And despite those 3 referrals, authorities were presumably too busy dealing with an angry boomer's spicy Facebook posts and addressing online misinformation to realise that Axel was a terrorist in waiting. It's almost impressive how they've managed to craft an entire narrative surrounding what the response to this attack should be, while totally avoiding the elephant in the room, mass migration. I mean, why be forced to identify the uncomfortable truth when you can simply blame the amorphous, shadowy spectre of misogyny instead? They're now even blaming tech companies for the explosion of phone thefts in London. They blame Amazon, they blame social media, they blame the far right, they blame everybody and everything apart from themselves, and the abject failure of their open borders, unlimited immigration experiment that's been a disaster for Britain. They can never acknowledge the truth because it completely eviscerates the sacred mantra that diversity is our greatest strength. So great that we constantly have to be reminded that diversity is our greatest strength after every single terror attack.
You know, diversity is a strength. It's not something that should be feared.
Now we learn that when presented with President Trump's policies on illegal immigration, without telling them that they came from Trump, the British public broadly agrees that emergency mass deportations of illegal immigrants should be enacted. Trump's proving that, shock horror, when you've got the power and the will to genuinely want to fix a problem, you can just do things to fix the problem. Colombia tried to send their illegal immigrants back to the US. Trump slapped crippling tariffs on them and they immediately backed down. J.D. Vance unapologetically defended the policy, while demolishing glib leftist talking points in the process.
Oh, well, this is a country founded by immigrants.
Well, this is a country founded by...
This is a unique country.
This is a very unique country, and it was founded by some immigrants and some settlers, but just because we were founded by immigrants doesn't mean that 240 years later that we have to have the dumbest immigration policy in the world.
Before asserting that there's absolutely no reason for Axel Radicabana types to be in Western countries in the first place.
I don't want my children to share a neighborhood with people who are not properly vetted, and because I don't want it for my kids, I'm not going to force any other American citizens' kids to do that either.
No, and that was a very particular case. It wasn't clear if he was radicalized when he got here or while he was living here.
I don't really care, Margaret. I don't want that person in my country, and I think most Americans agree with me.
While Trump's border czar unapologetically insisted that deportations will continue on a daily basis.
I want to go back to those military flights going south. As you said, we have never seen that before. Is that going to be a constant commitment from the U.S. military every single day to take deportees out?
Yes.
So is this what we will see every single day, ending in what the president has promised is millions and millions being deported?
Yes.
Now we discover 1 in 12 people living in London are illegal immigrants. More than 1 million illegals living in the UK as a whole. The answer isn't banning knives, censoring misinformation, or crafting deliberately obfuscating narratives that serve only to hide the true cause. The answer is simply to stop importing and deport en masse. If you value what I do and you want to help support me, please visit pauljosephwatson.locals.com and either pledge a one-time donation or subscribe to join my community, get early access videos, and message me directly. And exclusive live streams coming soon too. Promise. Check out the Locals link down in the description. And don't forget to take a look at the brand new website, modernity.news. That's where you'll find all my content, including exclusive articles. That's modernity.news.